Hello guys and welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how I created this ticket using Photoshop and Corel Draw. So let's get right into it. Okay, so before we get started, let's just look at the components that makes this ticket, right? And as you can see, there is this header here that shows what this ticket is about, and it's a gala dinner ticket, right? And this side we have like information about the date, the logos, and the price. And we also have the time here, and here we have got the venue. All right, and I'm gonna also show you how you can put automatic numbering on the ticket, as well as how you can put names easily using print merge. All right, I think that will be on the next lesson, but today I'm going to show you how to create the basic design of this ticket. Okay, so firstly, I started by creating the header, all right, which is here where it says gala dinner and all the components that are here. All right, so let me show you how I did that. I did it in Photoshop because actually if you can see this God text, it's actually not very easy to do in Corel Draw, but it's very easy to do in Photoshop. So I use Photoshop to create this text and just this layout out here for this header. So let's get over to Photoshop and I'll show you how I created this. All right, opening Photoshop. All right, alright guys, now that Photoshop is opened, let me just minimize it a little bit here. Alright, I'm going to file, and alright, I'm gonna go to file, and I'm gonna create a new document. Alright, I'm gonna give it 2000 pixels times 2000 pixels. Alright, create the blank document. Right, now that I got my blank canvas here, I'm just gonna let me just change my workspace here. I'm going to window, then workspace, and I'm just gonna be essentials right there. Okay, all right, so now I've got one layer here that is the background. I'm gonna add a text layer that's gonna say gala dinner. All right, alright, and I'm just gonna select everything and center it, right, by clicking here. Then I'm just gonna make the text bigger. Oops, just gonna drag right there. If you're using an earlier version of Photoshop, you might want to press shift whilst you're dragging right there to make sure that you actually resize this proportionally. Right, okay, now that I've got my text right in the center here, just like that, I am going to add a style to this. All right, so I already have the style here and I'm just gonna apply it. I'm just gonna click here and drag it to my text layer, and then I'm gonna click on effects to edit the effects, and I'm gonna click on stroke. Right, firstly let me go to the contour and just edit a little bit, then go to the stroke, and I'm just gonna bump it up just like that. All right, okay, let me put it around 12 or maybe 10. All right, okay, now that I have this lovely effect here, I'm gonna add this ball that is at the back here, right? This disco ball, and as well as the champagne borders. All right, so I'll provide these images in the links below. All right, so I'm gonna get this champagne border, then put it right there, put it in the middle, then I'm gonna drag it, put it on top of the background layer. All right, then I'm gonna get the champagne borders, get the champagne border, put it right there, maybe make it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna right click on the champagne border layer, duplicate this layer, and I'm gonna take this champagne border, I'm gonna hold shift here whilst I'm dragging so that I can transform it to the other side. Alright, I'm gonna take my disco ball in front of all the champagne bottles, so I'm gonna drag it, put it right there. Okay, so I want the Galadina to pop out of the disco ball, so what I'm going to do is add or edit the shadow for this text. Go to FX, drop shadow, I'm gonna put the size, bump up the size a little bit, and increase the opacity, right? Increase the opacity there, and bump up the spread, and right there. Now the Galadina is popping out of what's in the background there. Right, when I have this I have the basic structure. I think the basic structure of the header is done. Maybe let me just edit a little bit. Just gonna right click here and rasterize this layer of the champagne bottle, rasterize again the other layer, so that I can just make it fade out by clicking on the eraser tool and selecting the champagne bottle layer, making sure that my brush tool is very soft, and adjust the size right there, make it smaller. Right, adjust the size of my brush. Right, now just right, just gonna erase right here so that I don't have hard edges. All right, I'm gonna click on the next one. All right, so there we have our header. I'm just gonna, the last step here will be, selecting this eye here on the background so that we can hide the background. All right, and let's export it as a PNG with a transparent background. Right there. Let me just go to the tutorials. I'm just gonna put it as header PNG. Right, right, now that we got the header, let's head over to Corel Draw and start designing a flyer. File, New, right? The ticket design is going to be 150 millimeters by 60 millimeters. So 150 times 60 millimeters. All right. Let's import our header. Right there. All right. So let's get the original ticket so that we can see that we are doing the right thing. Just gonna copy that, paste it here. Okay. Right. First of all, we're gonna put this code. So I'm just gonna double click here on the rectangle 2. What this does is create a rectangle that is equal to the size of the canvas. Right. Let's make it smaller here. Just like that. Okay. The next step is to double click again to create this part, that is this side. All right. Okay. The next step is double click again and create the bottom part. All right. So you can see the bottom part has got two colors, this color and that color. Just gonna copy by pressing Ctrl C, Ctrl V, this bottom part, make it smaller, and right click on it, and I'm just gonna say convert to curves and shape it just like that using the shaping tool. All right, here's the shaping tool. Right, and as you can see here, there is like a triangle that is going inside here. I'm just gonna do it here again. Just gonna right click, convert to curves. Just gonna put 2 points here in the middle and the third point, and then just drag it just like that. Now we have the triangle. All right, now we need the background. Just gonna double click right there and put the background. Let's have a black color on the background. Click on the black. All right, maybe before we do that, let's give color to these bottom parts. All right. I guess let me recolor these myself so that you know how to recolor these. Okay, so this is brown, and click again, select the same brown, but on this one that you selected last, right click on it, make it lighter. Okay, now we have a dark brown, a lighter brown right there. Okay, when it comes to the gold part that is here, the way I did it, the way I got those gold colors is by created a rectangle here. As you can see, all the colors that I'm using here, they come here. All the colors that I have ever used in this document, they will come here, so that if I want to use them, they'll be they'll be readily available for later use. Okay, so when I get my rectangle here, then I'm just gonna sample some colors on this header of mine. Let me sample that. Right, as you can see, this color also came here for later use. So I'm just gonna sample again the darker parts of the gold, and sample again some of the middle tones, the mid tones. Sample again some of the lighter colors, and I'm gonna sample again some of the goldish colors right there. Alright, now I'm going to create a gradient by choosing the gradient tool and put it here. Alright, just gonna undo that. Firstly, let me select this rectangle right here, and then create a gradient on this rectangle. Now I'm gonna add this color that is dark, this on this corner, and probably add this side. Then I'm gonna put a lighter color in the middle. Then I'm gonna make it diagonal, just like that. I'll make it a little bit dark now. Alright, then after that, go to the side and make it black. Right click, order, move it to the front. Alright, now let's put the circle that is at the back of this header. Alright, let's create this on the side and we can take it into our scene. Alright, create one circle by holding shift and dragging so that the circle doesn't deform. Ctrl C, Ctrl V to copy the same circle and paste it right on top of the other. Now hold down shift and resize the circle that is on top, just like that. Then click the circle that is on top, the circle that is below, and right, so what you do is press shift, select the circle on top and the circle that is below, and then you can say back minus front. Right, you can give that a color. Right, so we have got this gold color. That we have here. going to show you how to create this gold color. Let's open the gold colors. There's that color that you can put there, and the gold. All right, then you can just create a gradient, put the lighter color in the middle and the darker colors on the outside, just like that. There you got your gold color, and you can click on any element like a vector element. Then you see the properties here. It says the color here is the fountain, which is the gradient gold here, and it has got a stroke or outline of black. So if you drag the fountain and drop it on any element that you're working on, you're actually applying that same color to that element, right? So that's how you can apply the same colors to the elements that you're working with, right? I'm gonna send it to back by right click, say order, behind my header, right? Okay, now that we have that, let's make sure that it's positioned quite well. Let me just group that. What I did is I selected everything there and I grouped it by right clicking and selecting group. All right. Let's make this background black so that we can see what we're doing right there. Okay. The next step is to add this picture here of the hotel where the event is happening. So I have this picture right here. Just gonna drag it and drop it here, then resize it. I'm gonna right click, power clip inside, then I'm gonna click, right click, and power clip inside, then click here, then I'm gonna edit the power clip and reposition my picture right there. Click on finish. All right, so now this picture is now enclosed in the rectangle that is at the background. Now I need to fade it out. So I'm just gonna double click on it, create on the and click on the transparency 2. Then I'm gonna make an interactive transparency from this picture to the header, just like that. Right. Just gonna click here and right click on this switch color here. This switch means no color. So if I right click on it, it will put an outline of no color. So it will remove the outline. That's what it basically does, right? So that's what I did right there. And I'm gonna do it on the background as well so that we can get rid of that outline. Do it on this one as well. All right. The next step is to add the text. All right, firstly I'm going to add the price. I'm forgetting the font that I used here, but let's see, it must be yeah, it must be this one. So it's Big Nodu titling. I'll put the link to the font in the description. So if you're not following through, you can just rewind this video and see if you're grasping the concepts. It doesn't matter where you place your items. You don't have to be specific, but you just have to know the concept, right? So right there, and I'm gonna add this line here. Okay, I'm gonna color it the same way that I colored this thing that is at the background here. So I just selected this circle that is at the background by just clicking on Alt. So what this allows you to do is to select the objects that are beneath another object without selecting the object that is on top. So you press Alt, then you click on the object, so to select the object that is on the bottom instead of the one that is at the top. So I clicked right there. Just gonna drag it and drop it there. Then also I'm gonna remove the outline just like that, and I'm just gonna make sure that the gradient is doing the reverse. Here it's doing the reverse, okay, for what it is doing on the circle. So I'm gonna adjust it just like that. After this, let's go ahead and put the time. Here I actually use the font called, I think it's Montserrat or Proxima Nova, but let's see. Starts. So we're gonna put the time here, right? 18 o'clock and 22 o'clock. Oops. Just gonna put the font here, select the font, Montserrat. Montserrat is a very good font. It's a modern font and it makes your design look clean, modern and standard. So what you do is, it's actually a Google font, so you can freely download it on Google Fonts. Alright, if it's necessary, I'll put it in the description as well. Alright, now we get to the part where it says issued to. We're just going to create a rectangle again, and this time We're not gonna give it any fill. We're just gonna put the outline only. So the outline is white. This is how you quickly put an outline or change the outline's color, just by right clicking on any color that you want. That object will be added with an outline of that same color. So just gonna click here on white, that is right click, right? And I'm just gonna, this is the other way that you can use to copy objects, right? Very fast, is to just select the text, like this text here, select it, then drag it, then right click whilst you're holding the left click, okay? Right click whilst you're holding, whilst you're still dragging it, okay? Right click. Now you create another copy, say issue 2. Right. Put the color right there. So here we shall put the name of the person to whom this ticket is issued to, right? So that we will do in the next lessons, where I'll teach you how to print merge and put these names when you are given a large quantity of names, and how to just do it automatically without taking much of the time using print merge, right? Oops, looks a little bit slanted right there. Alright, now that we got our ticket looking almost exactly as that, we're gonna put the date right there. So again, I just copied this text by just dragging it and right clicking whilst dragging, right? Just gonna say 04 here, 04, (2020), right? So the idea here is to just create something like this here, make December fit here, right? So just make sure that these are about the same width, then drag it to be the same height with 04. Whatever you do, don't stretch your typography. Don't stretch your typography. Make sure that the font that you use, you don't deform it. If you need to use a more condensed font, find a more condensed font. Do not squash the font for it to look condensed, okay? Alright, now we're going to take the god that we put on this strip here on 04, again by just dragging the fountain, putting it right there, dragging it again, put it on December. Right. Okay, now let's create the price that is on this side. Okay, let's just drag this rectangle and recreate another rectangle here, just like that. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Okay, now let's increase the size of the outline by just clicking on the rectangle, then go to this 2 here and let's put it at around 5. Okay, let's put it on 7. Okay, make it a little bit smaller. That take it down to 6. Right, after this, go to your object, say convert outline to object. What this does is it converts this outline into an object such a way that it's no longer an outline but actually a shape. Right, take for instance, I want to add a gradient on this outline. I cannot add a gradient into an outline in Corel Draw, but what I can do is convert this outline into an object, convert this outline into an object. What this does, it create a shape, not an outline. Okay, now I can drag, click here on 04, drag the same gold fountain color and drop it on your shape. Now you get a nice golden rectangle. Now I'm just gonna drag the 04, drop it right there, put the price again, put it right in the middle. Right, your designs are going to look sharp if you know how to place your items right in the middle. Right, don't put things right on the edge of your containers. Make sure that your objects have got a breathing space. Right, all right, the next step is we're going to add the logos. Right, so whichever logo that you have for these for the event is what you put right there. Right, so as for me, I'm just gonna copy these logos and put them right there. So this is actually the event organizer. Then the event sponsors or any other relevant logos that you would want to put on the poster. Right, so right there, and make sure that I leave space. Right, let's go ahead and put the address where this thing is happening. Okay, again, I just copied by dragging and right clicking. So it's at the boardwalk hotel, the boardwalk hotel, actually is the Boardwalk Convention Center. Convention Center. Convention Center. Port Elizabeth. Let's get, I could have left it in a font like this, but I don't know why I used this font actually. Now that I thought of it, I shouldn't have used this font. But anyway, you can actually use the other font that I use. It's called Cinzel. It's the same font that I used there on the header. Okay, now that I've got my address right there, what I need to do here is to make sure that the address is popping out from the background. So let me put a shadow. The way I'm gonna do it is a way that is gonna make the shadow pop out so much, and I achieve that by firstly clicking on the text. Make sure that your text is correct, like proofread it before you do this, because you gotta repeat the same process if you change anything on the text, right? Just so you know, just gonna click right there, click on contour, then outside contour, then maybe let's make the contour about 0.3. Oh, it's too much. Let's put 0.1. Right, then right click and break contour apart. Okay, I would leave it like this, but I want it to be like shadow, so I'm gonna click on the contour that is the black, right? So after I break the contour apart by just clicking on the contour, right click on the contour, then break contour apart. Now there is the contour that is at the back right there, and there is the text that is in front. So what I'm going to do is blur the contour, okay, click on the contour, effects, blur, use the Gaussian blur, right there. Okay, now we've got our nice shadow right there. All right, what's missing here? What's missing here? Okay, there's this text that says extravagant here, so I'm just gonna copy that, unboard this font, then write extravagant, right, put it in black, then center it right there. All right, the next step will be, I see there is a little bit of some shiny stuff right there, and there's also a ball right here. All right, so let's get the ball. We've got the ball, the disco ball. Take the disco ball, put it right there. Let's resize it. Resize the disco ball, put it right at the corner right there. So what we're gonna do is right click and say power clip inside our background. There we got the disco ball. The next thing is to put some flares. Okay, I'm gonna get this white flare. You can actually get these items in the link that I shall provide below. So I'm dragging this white flare here. Make it smaller. Then I'm gonna put it right there. Let's make it a little way smaller. Put it right there, just to make things bling and make things look attractive. So we're gonna put that. All right. I would also add one here. Let's see. Let's make it smaller. All right. That is the design for the ticket, as you can see from this. And we got this. It resembles our original design much well, though here it's a little bit different, but it's not that noticeable. All right. So in our next lesson, guys, I'm going to show you how you can add different kind of names on the tickets, as well as put automatic numbering on the tickets to produce them as digital tickets, or you can produce them as printed tickets. So how you can use print merge to make sure that you print these tickets with the unique names as well as unique numbers. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it helps you, and I hope it has helped you and shed some light on some of the aspects of Corel Draw. See you next time. Goni, I'm out.